Hey everyone, I'm Dina from simplyhomecooked.com, and today I'm super excited to be showing you how to make these mochi donuts. Mochi donuts are a dense and chewy Japanese-style donut that is often made in this cute ring shape. They're super pretty and they're even more fun to eat. All right, let me show you how to make them. So the first thing you want to do is sift your dry ingredients. So take a fine mesh sieve, put it over a glass bowl, and then you want to add 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Then you want to take out a tablespoon of that flour, and then you want to replace it with 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. So by doing that, you're actually making the equivalent of 1 cup of cake flour. So instead of buying cake flour, you can literally just make it at home by combining cornstarch and all-purpose flour. Okay, so the next thing you want to add is 3/4 cups of glutinous rice flour. So if you don't know what glutinous rice flour, it's glutinous, right? Glutinous rice flour, it looks like this. Well, at least this is the package that I got. I got it from Amazon. It can be a little bit harder to find, so I'll link down to it below if you want to purchase it there too. Okay, so the next thing you want to add is a teaspoon of baking powder and then 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. And then you just want to gently sift everything right into that bowl. Once all of that is sifted through, you can just go ahead and set your bowl aside. Now in a separate bowl, you want to get another fine mesh sieve, put it over your bowl, and then you want to add 3½ ounces of silken tofu. So if you don't know what silken tofu is, it's pretty much the softest type of tofu. It has the most water content. It's actually pretty easy to find. I found mine at Whole Foods. So once you got your tofu in there, you want to get a spatula and just press it through as best as you can. And then you want to make sure to scrape down all the bottom of that fine mesh sieve just to get all of that tofu into the bowl. All right, now you want to add 1 large egg along with 2 tablespoons of water right into the tofu. And then you want to grab a whisk and mix everything together until it's well incorporated. Now take your tofu and egg mixture and add it right into the dry ingredients. And then you want to begin working everything together with a spatula. So it'll seem a little dry at first. Just keep working it in until it starts to take shape. Then you want to take it into your hands and begin forming it into a ball. All right, for this next step, I highly recommend using a kitchen scale because you're going to be taking pieces of that dough, and then you want to weigh it to about 7 grams each, and every little piece of dough is going to be part of that pande ring. I mean, you don't have to use a kitchen scale, but if you're going through the process of making a pande ring, make it pretty, weigh your dough. During this process, I usually don't actually make the ring right away. I like to just grab the dough, weigh it, put it on a silpat mat. That way the little dough balls have time to kind of form a little bit of a crust. That way it's just easier to work with because it's pretty sticky dough. All right, so once you have all of your dough balls onto your silpat mat, you can begin making that beautiful pande ring shape. So you're gonna need 8 balls for each donut. So start off by taking some parchment paper, cutting it into squares. I just buy it pre-cut because it's faster. But you want it at least 5 inches by 5 inches big. Yeah, that's how big you want it. So you want to take each piece of dough and then round it into a perfect little sphere shape. And then you want to put it on some parchment paper. I like to place the dough balls directly across from each other one way and then across from each other the other way. So it's like a diamond or a square. And then the next dough balls are just kind of tucked in between. And you want them fairly tight because if they're too separated, they're not really going to stick well enough. They might unstick during the frying process. You do not want that to happen. All right, after you've done a few of them, you're gonna notice that some of the dough balls are starting to get a little bit drier, like they're forming a little bit of a crust. That's why I like to really mash it up. That way it kind of gets moistened again, and then just round it out again, and then continue the same process with the rest of them. And you should get about 8 donuts out of this recipe. So now you wanna fill a heavy bottom pot with about 2 inches of corn oil or vegetable oil, and you want to bring the heat to about 325 to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And this is where I highly recommend using an instant read thermometer. You really want to regulate that temperature because if it's not hot enough, your donuts are going to be kind of dry and overcooked. And if it's too hot, they're just going to burn on the outside, and then the inside's going to be too raw and doughy. Also not what you want. So I highly recommend using a thermometer to get the perfect temperature for your donuts. So to make this process easier, I like to pull the parchment paper right onto a slotted spoon and then gently drop it into the oil. And then once you see the donut slowly start picking back up, that's when you want to actually grab some tongs and flip the donut over, and then just gently kind of tug on the parchment paper and it should release from the donut. So now you just want to kind of flip them back and forth just to get a perfect even browning. This should take about 2 minutes. Just be careful not to overcook them because they're going to end up super dry and you do not want that. All right, now you want to take your slotted spoon and then carefully transfer the donut onto a plate lined with some paper towels to absorb any of that extra oil. And then you want to continue this process with the rest of the donuts, making sure to keep a close eye on that oil temperature. After you transferred your last donut onto the plate, you want to let the donuts cool down. And in the meantime, I'm going to show you how to make 3 different glazes. There's going to be a strawberry one, a matcha one, and a chocolate Nutella glaze. So you want to melt 4 ounces of white baking chips in a microwave-safe bowl or measuring cup. And then you want to add 1 drop of pink food coloring. And now you want to add 2 ounces of fresh strawberries. And then you want to go ahead and blend it in with an immersion blender. Just pulse it on high speed until everything is well blended and it's nice and smooth. Okay, so this next glaze is that gorgeous green matcha glaze. And for this, you're also going to need 4 ounces of white baking chips. But this time you're not going to melt them, you're actually going to heat up a 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. And I just heat mine up in the microwave for like, I don't know, like 20-ish seconds, pretty much until you see it kind of bubbling and simmering. You just want it really hot. And then you want to pour it right over those white chocolate chips. And then you want to grab a spatula and just start gently mixing it together. And after a while, you're going to ditch the spatula, and this is where you need a whisk. Just whisk it all together until it's well incorporated. And then that's when you can add about a teaspoon of matcha powder. And then whisk that matcha powder until it's well incorporated into the glaze. All right, so the last glaze is the chocolate Nutella glaze. So into a bowl, you're gonna sift 3/4 cups of powdered sugar, along with 2 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder. Sift that right into the bowl. And then you're gonna add 3 tablespoons of warm milk and 3 tablespoons of Nutella. Grab your whisk and just mix that all together until it's smooth and creamy. All right, now that all your glazes are done, this is the best part. You can start glazing up all of your donuts. And I like to dip them and then transfer them to a wire cooling rack. And there will be some glaze dripping down, so I recommend lining some foil under. It's just gonna make your life a lot easier when it comes to time to clean up. So for decoration, you can honestly decorate them however you want. I just drizzled some melted white chocolate over half the donut, and the other half, I just crushed up some of that, what's that cereal? The strawberry special K cereal. Yeah, just crushed it up and then just sprinkled it over the top, and it just looks so stinking cute. All right, the mochi donuts are all done and they just look so cute. Like, that is so cute. All right, which one do I want? We got chocolate, matcha, and strawberry. I'm gonna go with the strawberry. That looks good. Okay, I don't know if I should just bite into it or just, no, actually I'm just gonna take off a little piece. It's a perfect little bite-sized bowl. Okay, how do I explain this to you? The outside has like a crunchy, kind of a crisp, buttery texture. And then the inside, it's like cakey, but it's chewy. It's such a unique texture. And the flavor of that strawberry glaze, oh, it just takes it over the top. And guess what? You cannot taste any tofu in here. Like, I would never guess that there's tofu in here. This is really good. I'm really enjoying this. It's so good with coffee. Oh. Okay, now I have to try the chocolate one because that was really good with coffee, and I bet this is gonna be amazing with coffee. Oh yes. Coffee? That is so good. It's a really good thing that my kids aren't here. I'm really enjoying this moment. Oh, these are so cute. Like, look at that. It's so cute. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel so you guys never miss out on any of our new recipes. See you next time.